plastic surgery to promote the album.
Oh no, that's all God's. Welcome to the Fame Game with Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt. Happy birthday, honey.
Thank you. It was one of my favorite birthdays in a long time, even though we didn't celebrate where I would like to, because obviously our house was burned down by Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom and LADWP, if you haven't noticed. But other than that, thank you for hosting a lovely little hotel day. Had the kids by the pool. And Brandon from Georgia flew in, and he sure was having fun. And it was just very relaxing. Then we went to sushi dinner. Heidi made sure I stopped drinking any alcohol drinks. And I pivoted to water, which is why I'm here today.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah,
some white rice immediately.
It was clutch.
Yep. Yeah, so the day was great. Started off a little exciting.
What happened to start?
Well, I had the kids.
Oh, the dog.
Yeah, so
2
days ago, the dog had raisin toast, which is very toxic and
deadly, I think
deadly.
is the word.
So the vets told me to give him a mixture because you have to get it in within 30 to 60 minutes or it's like, yeah. Anyways, we got it in. He was fine. And then I was like, great, this day is fine. The next morning on Spencer's birthday, I'm up with the kids. We're trying to make Spencer breakfast in bed. I think we just did his cards. We made a cake. I had so many things going on. And then I look over and Yoki is throwing up blood. So that was terrifying. And I'm like, okay, time to wake up Dad. So I wanted Spencer to have a little bit of a nice wake up. We had a crown for him, the card. And then I'm like, okay, now the dog is throwing up blood and I'm going to take him to the emergency vet. I'll be back. So you just stay right there. It's very stressful. And
on the way to the emergency vet, I get a text message from the vehicle saying that there is a flat tire. So I call Heidi and I said, a flat tire. She's like, it just popped up on the screen. So then Heidi had to drop the car off at a tire shop, then walk to the vet. Thankfully she did, because it ends up we needed 4 new tires.
Yes, he wouldn't even let me drive down the street. He said that they were so bald and on the wire. So God uses everything for good. And Yoki's fine. Everything's good. The vet said he's fine. He just had a reaction to the solution that they said to give him. But everything's great. Everything's fine. And ended up being a great birthday. And we went to the hotel and had an incredible time. And now today is my day of excitement and more excitement. I'm performing tonight. And it would already have come out by the time this airs. So I'm performing at the Keys with a Nemelia Evita activation event. So exciting. My first performance in West Hollywood, except when I did the show about the Abbey and I performed on the bar, Body Language, and I just watched that the other day. I'm like, yeah, seems like yesterday. It was a very long time ago. I have this podcast and we're going to race to the hotel. I'm going to quickly change like Superwoman, get into my sound check outfit, have sound check for 30 minutes. We're going to try to film it. And then we're going to go onto the street and film my music video for Icon. Then we are going to finish that music video at my performance tonight when I perform at midnight. And I had 5 hours of sleep and it is all going to just be fantastic. So anyways, also I've been rehearsing with Enrique for about 2 weeks now, or however long since Vancouver, for my set for this weekend. And then 2 days ago, my audio tech said, it's only a 10-minute set instead of 20. And I said, no, I did not know that. So I had to change all my visuals, come up with a new set. And I was a little frustrated that my team hadn't already told me that and figured that out. Really frustrated. Okay, really frustrated.
I'm not her team, so let's be clear. A lot of people get that confused.
You're just an ass.
I'm an ass.
Asset.
I am just an ass.
Asset. I was going to say aspect, and then I was like, asset. That's not what I meant.
You're just an ass.
That's not what I meant.
Yep, and then right now, I'm trying to decide if I have it in me, which I should, fly to Potter Valley, where Gavin Newsom is allowing and supporting PG&E getting rid of these dams that have been there for, I don't know the exact date, but enough for 4 generations of these farmers who are now going to have no water. So all these farmers keep tagging me in these videos. Obviously, I share them, but I feel like I should fly to these farms and make some videos with these farmers, which, again, all this is out of my own pocket. Like when I flew to Washington, I paid for that. And obviously, as you can tell, we don't have that much money to be, out here as, so it's just like balance. Yes, I feel like I should, but I also don't have the type of funds to be going out on missions to fight Gavin Newsom, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to stay in a hotel. But it's fascinating that Newsom is just on a path of destroying all these towns in California. It's so shocking. And they all have to do with water. What is happening? It's so sad. It's devastating.
It is horrible.
So
and
it's a hard choice.
So, yeah. And then I have a senator from Florida is flying in on Wednesday to meet with me about a bill that he wants to put forward where if your house burns down, you only pay property taxes from your original house, not your new house when it's built. For instance, like my parents who had their house for like 40 years, they couldn't probably afford building. Well, first off, they can't. If they could afford to rebuild, which they can, if they did, as of right now, they would then have to pay property taxes as if it was a 2025 brand new, now blah, 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 versus the property taxes they had when they bought the house in the late 80s. So I said, absolutely, I'd love to be part of that bill. So he's flying in. I'm going to meet with him Wednesday before I am hosting Spencer for Governor and Gavin Newsom will never be president merch at Kitson in Beverly Hills. Kitson was the first place almost 20 years ago that carried the Team Heidi shirts, and the owner has been actively supporting everything I've been doing and asked if I would do a ribbon cutting, and I said of course. And to be clear, as of right now, I'm not running for governor unless 6 million shirts sell. I asked ChatGPT how many votes I would need to be governor, and it's 6 million. So if 6 million people buy the shirt, first off, we're going to definitely be rebuilding quicker. And then other than that, it's just a fun shirt. So I've had a few people actually running for governor have reached out to me and asked me if I was actually joining the race. And I was like, well.
It's a competitive market.
And then we were supposed to have Shervin, who is the Symbiotica owner, on today's podcast to talk about toxic soil, but he got stuck in Kauai, so we're going to push that. But he has been messaging me every day that he's been doing more research and studies, so that's going to be an incredible podcast. He already gave me all these products I'm supposed to be taking, but I can't show you the back of my legs. But if you saw these toxic skin rash burns that I have from the Palisades, and again, after meeting with the EPA, I now know that they only tested this part. They didn't test the sidewalks. They didn't test people's yards. So West Hollywood tonight, are you going to feel back at home from all your heyday running Bolt House on MTV's The Hills?
I only went out into West Hollywood, I think once, and that was for the Abbey. We were more in Hollywood, so.
I don't know why they call it West Hollywood. I think it's at the.
It's like on Sunset.
Yeah,
it's
right
not West
tonight.
Hollywood. Yeah, it is off of Sunset. It's right
next to
where
the
the Roxy is.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
We used to go. My memory of there, I actually don't think you were there, was when Brody and Kristen were dating, and that band that played cover band. There was like a famous cover band, rock cover band, and everyone would go, and I was like, this is so stupid. But they had fun, those two. Yeah, so speaking of the Hills, the last week I have been on the phone with my incredible, she's not a ghostwriter because I'm going to acknowledge I'm not typing my memoir.
The writer.
Yeah, the writer who's helping me, who just had a 6 week in a row #1 bestseller. But we, for real, talked, I want to say like 9 hours straight for this week on draft 2. For days. My throat was hurting so badly I couldn't even, but really going through the journey of my life to get to now a burnout lot in the Palisades, it's pretty anticlimactic.
It's pretty devastating.
Yeah, like
it's an unhappy ending.
Yeah, like I'm just like, wait, I've done so much to get nowhere.
Yeah, you know, they say you learn more from failure than success, and you're still young.
I think that's just people that fail say that.
That's not true. That's what was that really? Was it Edison? Like there's all those really Newton, I don't know, some
the
famous
guy with the apple
inventor. Yeah, they all had failures, and it's all about learning and growing, and it's not about money at the end of the day. It's about love and life, and obviously we want success, but we have built things that are the most important, and we have this beautiful family, and we have the health, and yeah, it sucks that our house that we saved everything in is gone and all that stuff, but we still have time, and we still have the drive, and we still have the ability to build more success. And you know, it's not over, honey. It's not over. We're still in the fight. We're still gonna keep going. We're young. We're, you know, bring that fright to them, baby.
We
bring
brought
that
the fright to Washington.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, it's just, I was like, man,
not the ending that you wanted.
Well, thankfully,
it's not over.
Yeah, speaking of, make sure
halftime, baby.
Please pre-order the book.
Yeah,
that's our plug here. The link is in my bio on all social, or just search "The Guy You Loved to Hate" by Spencer Pratt. Please. Loved.
Past tense.
I've been watching Sheena Shea. There's like all this controversy with her New York Times bestseller because they put like a sword or a dagger next to it, which implies there was like bulk sales from like one like place. So she did a TikTok like, I didn't buy all my own books or whatever, and maybe she didn't. You know, maybe she has one like super fan that bought a lot. So moral of the story is, I don't want one of those daggers.
Couldn't a bookstore do that?
I think they know the difference between like bookstore buying. I mean, I was just watching TikToks about it. So my takeaway is, I need everyone to buy the book so I don't get a dagger next to mine so that people control me on TikTok. But I won't get a dagger because I'm not buying any copies of my book.
I'll buy one. I already bought one.
All right, I'll buy one. So maybe half a dagger.
Just one, guys.
But I am so thankful for the opportunity, because there's so many things going through the book that your mind's gonna explode of what I allowed happen to my identity and brand nowadays. Like in the Bethany Frankel world of reality television, I would have 50 lawsuits. I would have been suing every cast member for lying on me. I would have been on one season because I would have so many lawsuits. Because you look now, if a cast member says anything that's not true, people just sue them. And I just went along with so much stuff because they were paying us a lot of money and we were just having so much fun. And I really hit me when I was working on the book. The reason I was so down to let my brand or identity just get destroyed is there was no streaming back then. In my brain, it was that week was going to be an episode, and then you'd never watch it again, and nobody was ever going to go buy these DVDs, and it wasn't going to. But just now that it airs on Netflix, Paramount Plus, and they just keep, and we don't make any of that money, which is so mind-boggling that we would legitimately be rich if we got residuals for streaming. So that is something.
We should have joined that reality strike when it happened and been in on that, because they were on it, and that's why all the writers, there are credited writers on each episode of The Hills. There are credited writers on almost every reality show, and producers, and they were right because they saw the future of streaming and not having any money, and they were in that industry where they were just doing all these shows, and it is really frustrating. And also, we made the blueprint. We didn't have the luxury of seeing it play out for other people. So Bethany and these housewives and everybody were able to see us be put through it publicly and see how it doesn't translate into money and being able to capitalize off of it. It used to be fame is fame, and being the height of fame translated into money. But when it comes with that negativity, it just didn't have that same effect. And we didn't have anyone to look towards that model. We created that model, and that was a really tricky place to be. It was hard to tell the future.
Yeah. You know, I think the biggest part that people don't realize is the show was so fake, but all the stuff in our lives was so real, with all of our family pretty much at different times trying to sabotage us, or just, you know, it just really not having a supportive family is it's crazy to look back and like, dang, we're lucky we got through with the level of just, you know, you'll read the book, and I'm very gentle with my words. But I will be narrating the audiobook, of course. Most people do not say I have a voice for radio like Heidi. Heidi gets lots of compliments.
Thank
so
you.
Maybe I'll have a Heidi version where she reads it.
I could read my parts.
Oh.
Or it could be like a duet, you know. I'll be like,
We should definitely have a special.
no, Spencer, don't do that. Yeah, Spencer, get him.
That's not in my book.
I'm just making up things.
But I do
things
think
out
we
there.
should have a special edition where you're featured audio as well.
That'd be funny.
So yes, but I'm very excited for that. And I obviously would love it to be a huge success, and that be like a defining, all this was just to have this book be so successful, make us all this money, and be able to rebuild our house.
You do have the best voice, for the record.
Oh, thank you.
It's very sexy,
Oh,
and
whoa,
cool,
whoa,
and
whoa. I
charismatic.
will say my lovely writer, Carolyn Ryder, she almost had me a little gay in my book. Every guy she's like would add talking about their abs, like glistening. And I said, I didn't say that to you. She's like, I know. I think it was the wine. I was like, we're not making a romance novel.
Yeah.
I was like, this is coming off just gay. Like, let me tell you, which is fine, but it's just a lot of, his abs were just dripping sweat. I'm like, whoa, what?
She did say, I get caught up in the details. Like, those are some details you could probably leave out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that got toned down a little bit, but it's I'm so thankful for her because she cares so much, and she just thought women love abs. I was like, yeah, it's just coming out of my mouth is just it's a little weird.
So pre-warning, any glistening abs.
No, I took it out.
Okay.
I said no,
Spencer's
we're not having
or sparkling eyes or other.
It was just so a lot of it was like I don't know if she was into Brody or whatever, but Brody was getting so gassed up. I was like, I don't think about Brody this way.
This is a bromance.
Yeah, like
this
is maybe how Ryan Seacrest thought about Brody, when he's shooting bromance. But so Brody, sorry, you got toned back a little bit. Your jawline is not featured in my descriptions. So that was a fun week. Yeah, it's just honestly, I'm just really stressed about how much responsibility is now getting put on my shoulders, and I just got all these texts as I'm getting here, this new bill that's going around the SB 9 that we stopped. And then there's the SB 7-9 that I was already fighting. And then there's a new, and it just feels like, they're just not stopping at trying to change the future of the Palisades. And the real rich people, they don't care because they've already moved on. If they did have a house burned down, they don't have the heart that I have for this community, in the sense they didn't grow up here. They didn't grow up with all your friends' houses burning down. So it is really a lot that I wasn't ready for, being like, I was ready to just troll Newsom and Karen Bass, but the severity of the stakes that are now the pressure of that I'm supposed to stop. I had to call Rick Caruso, who I feel like has way more power than me. And I said, please help me. And he's like, what do you need? I was like, I need you to call every rich person because I feel like people like Newsom and Karen Bass, the only thing that actually scares them are the people that bankroll them, the people that have money to really go against them. So, as many TikToks and IGs I'm making or however many petitions, that doesn't scare these people. I truly think the only thing that scares these people are billionaires, and they have so many billionaires backing them for whatever agendas the billionaires want to cook with them. So I will say I'm freaking out. It
feels like quicksand.
Yeah, and they just nonstop. And then I get 150 of these old people, elderly people, messaging me about what am I going to do for the California Fair Plan and how can you stop California Fair Plan. I'm like, I want to just be like, you guys realize I sell rocks. Like, that's my technical job. Like, if all these people want me to do all this stuff, honestly, they got to make like a fund, and I need to hire a team, because I can only use my lawyer friends that have jobs all day long. Like, they can't write back to me enough, and I'm like sending bills. And so I don't know. I need a team of really smart people to help get behind the movement people are pushing me to, because I'm getting to a point where I'm like, it feels like I can't breathe. I'm like,
I think it has to be a balance of also what works with your life. You still have to be a father and a husband and dealing with so much of our businesses and things like that. So it can't be all encompassing. It can't be your whole world as much as it is your whole world, and it feels like your whole world. And your heart is so in it, but also like you're really not Superman at the end of the day. Like, you're doing such a good job advocating for these people and your community and doing as much as you can, but you solely cannot rebuild the Palisades the way it was. You solely cannot stop these people. You can do as much as you can do, and that's it. And at the end, you're doing so much, and you should feel good about what you are doing. And it's a hard balance. And right now you're in the thick of it, and there's so much stress of it because things are moving so quickly, and you are against the government, who have hundreds of people and hundreds of lawyers. And so you can't put that pressure on yourself. You just take one thing at a time and do one thing at a time, like you're trying to do. But it's an impossible task to be against, and you're doing an incredible job at it. And that's why people are so inspired. And it's not just the TikToks you're doing, you're inspiring people to be able to have a voice and to stand up and not just take this destruction and demise. So the inspiration that you're doing through this is also as important as the bills you're stopping, and helping people feel like they can be in the fight and have more of that. So it's important to take a breath in it and not to be consumed by it. And that's why I've been saying too, like, do other things on your social media. So that's not just how you feel you have to be all the time. It's not even just for the TikToks. Like, okay, you can do so many things. You are so well-rounded. You have so much going on, and to also tap into those things and not to feel the pressure of just having to be on and just having to become that, because that's not just who you are.
Well, then you come in your burnout lot and it just gets you so mad that it makes me, that's all I want to do, because I'm just I get madder every day. I'm like, these people just do not care, and they just get away with it, and they'll just keep doing it. And it's beyond twisted. And like we keep watching these videos of these farmers. You were almost crying on the way here on the car, because it's like, they're doing it right now without fire. They're going to stop everyone's livelihood and destroy a town so that Newsom can be the most environmentally green nominee for president. Like, everything is just power and money, and it's so twisted, because these people are supposed to work for us, and then they're just such good scammers that they get like a young hit little TikTok social media team to make their little stupid videos, and then people are like, oh my God, he's the best, I want to be the president. It's like, because they used a good song with this TikTok. You want this person to be your president? Like, this person would eat your kids for adrenaline. I mean, no, that's not real, but just for real blood. Let's just say,
he's a monster.
I truly think he just, allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, that's the problem, that they're so good at scamming people. And I'm not, again, what I am doing isn't like a party thing. It's, if Newsom had been a Republican, I'd be on the same thing. So people can never get it twisted. If Schwarzenegger, whoever burns down my house is getting the same. And that's the problem. There's people that aren't like that they don't want to go after these people because they're so loyal to politics, and they don't want to, throw their guy or their woman under the bus because then it looks bad. Everyone should hold anybody that's an elected by us employee accountable for negligence or just not doing what's good for the tax. So that's the other problem we have neighbors right up the street that I know, they had probably Newsom bumper stickers. I know right over there, they still have their Karen Bass thing up from when they voted for Karen Bass. Do you know how twisted that is? All your neighbors don't have houses, and you are going to still have your Karen Bass for mayor thing, knowing she let all this happen. Just so negligent is so great. But that's that gang shit where people are just, oh, that's my gang. I got to ride with, even if they burn everything down, I'm going to go down with the Titanic with whoever. So that's the problem with just America and politics, how polarizing and cultish it's become. Thankfully, I guess I just never ever wanted to hype up a politician because I've always felt like they were all bought off by bankers and lobbyists and billionaires. I never even got part of this whole cult world. And now the only reason I even talk about this stuff is they burned my house down. So, and that's my fault. I should have been way more aware of the stakes. If you put the wrong people in power, you're going to be sitting in a dirt lot. So that is the takeaway. People are like, why aren't you more active? I'm like, you're right. If I had known this is the level that, I thought they just raised taxes and make me broke that way. I didn't know they could raise taxes and burn your house down. So on that note, we're off to go rehearsal.
Yeah, so I have sound check and a lot of things to get to. But it was another great episode of the Fame Game. And we
have a lot of guests that want to come on, which some really insane people, big
but I'm
people.
Melting and I got to get up. So anyways, we will see you next week on the Fame Game. Please, please, please give us reviews, 5-star reviews, great, incredible, kind words would be amazing. Please subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Buy Heidi shirts, Heidi hats, Spencer for Governor shirts, all the links are in the bio. Buy Heidi Wood, buy crystals at prattdaddy.com. Any way you can support.
We love you.
I'm going to add some Venmos and Cash App links too while we're at it.